What's good, everyone? This is Money Max of Craftmaster Productions, where we provide context in a world full of content. So if I now play the sample all the way through, today I wanted to continue on my series of Grammy-winning R&B melodies, specifically focusing today on Lucky Daye, who won his first Grammy over the weekend. He just put out a new album. Now, what I want you to focus on as we do this is the fact that we're now getting into slightly more complex chord sequences.
No! God, please, no!
Artists and producers are really combining some of the examples and music theory and ideas that we've been teaching you here at CMP Kit. So I've gone straight into the Candy Drip chords, and I've taken the song Deserve, and I'll play you those chords. It's actually my favorite song on the album. Definitely feel free to go and listen to it. I want you to notice with this chord pattern that we go from a G major to A major. That's a 1-5. So it's the 1 and the 5. Then we go from the A major to C major. Now, if you look at the two, those 1-5s are parallel. So you go from D to C. D to C is a 1-7. So we've been talking about the 1-5 chord sequence and the 1-7 chord sequence. And what they've done here is they've actually combined the two to make something that's slightly more complex.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And what you get out of it is a really good song. Now, what I did with it was so I did a 1-note melody on top just to augment the chords slightly. That's with my Labs piano. Then what I did was I actually bounced that out. I'm doing some EQ here with the Marg EQ. Feel free to just copy the settings. And I'm adding a little bit of my room reverb. On this sample, I haven't used any outboard gear. My point is you can make really cool sounds just in the box by yourself. What gives that the tone it has is this plugin. You can see the settings. And that's on my reverb send. So I'm basically drowning this in reverb and then putting the reverb through that lo-fi plugin. Very next thing I added was perk loop from Only One. You guys know what I do with my perk loops. Sweep out the lows, bit crush, sweep out the highs with the low pass filter here. I'm going a little below 2K here without those. Add them in. Then I added reverb to this as well. And then if I add in my piano with that again. The next thing, I just added in this vocal chop from Arcades. Some reverb. Yeah, it's just a delay, and then with some detuning. And then this dimension expander, this is a free plugin, just makes it wider. So as you can hear, what Effect Rack is doing is giving that sparkly sound, and that's what we want. It adds a lot to the overall sample. What you heard there was I added this little instrument from Selena, OMG Choir. What I'm adding to that is Little Altar Boy. So here's it dry. Here it is dry. And then with Little Altar Boy, I'm adding like some formant stuff. Those cool little delays you hear, they're also coming from Effect Rack, and I like to add stuff like that in. Effectively, it adds like textures. Then the sample needs a part B. I'll play you that as well. The organ's just playing the chords. So as you can see, I band past that. I've got reverb and a plate reverb on it, so. So as you can see, a lot of the sound design and the ambience of this sample is coming from the reverbs and stuff that I'm adding. I added the plate. Added that sparkly reverb again in. And in context. Then I added this from Farfisa, Angels Approaching. To that I added Decimal and my room reverb. All together, that second part sounds like this. So the B section of the sample, when you have a chord sequence like this, which has effectively two core chord techniques in it, you really don't have to do much to come up with a B section. All you have to do is pick one of the two chord sequences, go with it, really. And that's exactly what I've done. If I solo this piano, you'll see in the MIDI, and I open up Chord. So what I've done here is a 1/7 in reverse, very simple, as you saw the MIDI. Bounced that down, and again I added like full reverb. Then I actually bounced down just a basic version, chopped them and reversed them. So what you'll hear is... I added a bass line. Bass is a very simple sound. It's from Labs. I just used the UAD amp, copy my settings. Little Lamb's Voice of God. I wanted more sub, basically. And then a compressor. With the compressor, I like to use it in limit mode. I like to play with the emphasis, so it's not catching the lows, it's catching kind of like the attacky bits where you actually hear the bass. And then I just recorded in some guitar. I'm not good at guitar at all, but like you can hear the struggle and the like poor dexterity. I added this stereo D chorus. It works every time. Plate reverb. Back in the day, they used to call the reverb knob the talent knob. So if anyone was really bad at either guitar or singing or whatever, they would just turn up the reverb. And I used the same technique, basically. And then this Valhalla delay as well. I'll turn off the reverb so you can hear the delay. Glorious guitar delay. So yeah, in the context of the sample. Here it goes back to the original chord sequence and melody. Now I've added this instrument in again. Selena V. Deep breathing is the instrument name. I've not done any processing to it. I've just panned it all the way to the right. It goes really well with the other instruments. I've added bass to this part now. So as you can hear, I've kind of taken it back to the original idea. What I did was I copied over the piano from the first bit, and the percussion loop from the first bit, and this little, I don't know what to call it. But now I've added in this bass line, which just follows along with some of the notes that are in each chord. I've added this sound from Selena strings, and that's just another melody that repeats through. For the development of this section further, I've added in this sound from Selena strings, which is basically just the chords, but with like a pumper on them. The chords from Chord. What I did was I used the transposer to pitch up 12 semitones. So here's without that. To me that felt too heavy, so I pitched it up an octave. Then you've got the one knob pumper. I'll show you my settings, and that's what gives it the... And then I just added some reverb. So you get a picture of how you can create pretty good sounding sample that sounds really airy and vibey and in the style of a Lucky Daye. Do that in a very easy and quick way. I think this whole sample took me about 2 hours. So yeah, this is your reminder to keep it simple and do not be basic, and I will see you on the next one.